Sangwoo wakes up at 4 a.m. to Bum shaking. Nothing new, really. Business as usual. He shakes a lot. It's harsher than usual, though. Full body tremors that go so far as to make his teeth clack against themselves. Sangwoo watches him for a minute before picking up the blanket from his side and throwing it over him. He's not going back to sleep anyway. He scratches the sleep out of his eyes and gets up, stretching his spine as best he could. He had better shit to do than just lay around in bed all day. He could go for a run or work on the hook in the basement. There was no reason for him to just sit here. Bum practically vibrates in his sleep while Sangwoo gets dressed. It's not even that cold. So was he having a nightmare? Was he thinking about Sangwoo, even in his sleep? What a cute thought. He pulls on his socks and a pair of sneakers, tapping his toes against the floor to settle the shoe right. He leaves the house quietly. The streets are deserted, but when are they not? He jogs up and down his street a couple of times before turning off and booking it further into the city. It's just as empty as his own street, but he passes an occasional homeless person sprawled out on a bus stop bench. There's barely any light left. The sun hasn't come up yet, but most of the street lights are turned off. He spots a small internet cafe still open and a girl sitting on the corner. His hands itch for a second, and feels it all the way to his teeth. The need of it. The slim, tiny thing. He could probably pick her up by hand if he wanted to. And what's stopping him, really? There's no cameras, no cars nearby, nobody nearby. Just her and him on an empty street at 4 a.m. Even if there is a camera, it's almost pitch black. The only problem could be the waitstaff in the cafe. But it doesn't even look like she went inside. It would be something to do. His skin itches, happy, excited energy runs inside him. It would be easy. She looks drunk enough that a smile would get her to go along with him. And what would he do to her? He needs to test how sturdy the hook is so he could... No. That's not for her. That's for Bum. When he upsets him. He doesn't trust him enough not to do something. Maybe he's trying to get out of the house right now. Sangwoo doubts it. This girl, though, she looks like she's made exclusively bad decisions her entire life. It's not his fault she's sitting on a corner drunk and God knows what else. He didn't make her do it. He didn't put her there. If anything, he was doing her a favour. If he took her, someone else might come along with much less pure intentions. Bum flights across his mind again. Something that's been happening more and more. Bum and his thin limbs and pale skin and bones. His ribs just out of his chest, his spinal column is traceable. He's not a fan of that sort of thing, usually. But it looks good on him. Delicate. His legs would look good in the skirt this girl's wearing. Maybe he should find him a new one. Some new fresh clothes that were actually his. This girl isn't that thin. He can see. She has more meat on her. He scratches his head to do something with his hands. It's something to do. He woke up early, and he's off to work today anyway. He stretches his legs and drums his fingers. He'll go talk to her. Are you alright, miss? Eh? She blinks up at him. Her hair's long and poorly cared for. Her clothes are filthy. She has an accent and slurs her words. Fine. Do you need help? Fuck off, she says. Sangwoo scratches the back of his head. That's just uncalled for, really. He's only trying to be nice. And this is how he gets treated? Upon further inspection, she looks older than him. Maybe 30? What kind of adult gets wasted on the corner? That sort of thing is embarrassing. Just checking. He smiles and she turns away from him. He rolls his eyes. Honestly, what's with people these days? He takes off running again, trying to shake the desire to do something. He runs for a long time, an hour maybe, before he turns around and makes his way back to the house. It's a pretty cool morning, and when he crosses the threshold of the gate, the plants he has are covered in dew. When he gets inside, he takes his shoes off and heads to take a shower. He walks past the bedroom and stops. Bum is curled in on himself, still shaking aggressively. The blanket wrapped around him, his teeth are still clacking and he's whimpering to himself. Sangwoo stares at him before continuing to his shower. He showers in the cold, his muscles are still hot. Maybe it'll calm him down, at least a bit. He's still filled with energy though, and he doesn't know where to put it. He dries off quickly, stares at the mirror over his sink. Does he have circles under his eyes? Is he getting more tired recently? Maybe he shouldn't go for runs at 4 a.m. He tracks back to the bedroom, pulling on clean clothes. It's 6 already, the clock on the wall tells him. Bum is still shaking when he glances over him. He walks over to him and gets low enough to shake him awake. Bum's eyes fly open, but he doesn't stop shaking. What's wrong with you? Sangwoo asks, his head tilted to the side. I'm cold. I'm cold, he mumbles. Sangwoo reaches forward. Bum jerks backward, but with an irritated sigh. Sangwoo puts his hand on Bum's forehead. He has a fever. You're sick, he says. How'd you manage that? Bum doesn't say anything, just continues vibrating. What else? You're cold? What else? Bum stares at the floor. Come on, what else is it? What's bothering you? Why does he have to be so difficult? Joints, he mumbles. My joints hurt. You have a flu. Sangwoo sighs. Puts his hand on Bum's head and pushes him down until he's on his back again. What am I supposed to do with you? Yoon Bum turns on himself again and goes back to shaking. Yeah, you're so helpful, Sangwoo says and gets back up. Fine. He leaves the room. He tracks to the kitchen, sets a kettle on the stove and pulls out what he needs. When the yuja-cha is done, he pours it in the honey and cayenne pepper and brings it back to Bum, whose eyes are closed again. Sangwoo nudges him with his foot. Bum blinks awake. He hands the cup to him. My mother made it like that for me, he says. Bum looks at the cup, then at Sangwoo, and then back at the cup and presses his lips to the edge. He sips it and his face contorts immediately. Too hot? Bum shakes his head. Sangwoo rolls his eyes. I'll go to the store and get you some medication later. Sangwoo watches him. Because you already took all my pain medication. Bum nods. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing. Right. Sangwoo smiles. Usually that would just make him apologize more. At least he's learning something. What do you do when you get sick? He asks, standing up to rummage through his cabinets, find a pair of old wool socks. He moves around and finds a sweater. He tosses it next to Bum. I've never really got sick before. Not once? Yoon Bum shakes his head. This is good, he says and gives Sangwoo a smile. It looks good on his face. Put those on, he says when Bum finishes the cup and hands it back to him. He leaves to wash it out. Hey, don't do anything weird to my clothes, he yells, but it's a joke. Bum doesn't laugh. When he walks back into the room, Bum has the socks on, with his bandages peeking out from the top and the sweater pressed against his face. What did I say? It smells like you, Bum says, and there's that smile again. Can I really wear this? I gave it to you. Sangwoo watches him pull it on and wrap his arms around himself. So you're going to lay in bed all day? Bum nods. Sangwoo gets down into the bed next to him, pulling him closer. Bum almost stills. Almost. Go to sleep, he says, and Bum closes his eyes immediately. A few hours pass with Bum snoring in his arms, and when the sun hangs in the air, Sangwoo gets up and pulls his shoes on before heading out to the store. He gets in his car and drives to a supermarket further from his house than necessary. He pays for what he needs and is about to leave before someone bumps into him. Ah, miss, are you okay? He asks with the same smile he used earlier on the same woman. She probably lived here. You? Oh, she deflates. Much better, thank you. He's surprised she remembered. The hair on the back of his neck rises again. Do you need help with anything? She looks at the bag in his hand and then back up to him. Owe me some money? She asks. Sangwoo wants to bludgeon her. He shakes his head with a smile instead. Just spend it all. She shoves past him at this point, to go beg the cashier presumably. She reminds him of her father. Just a little bit. Miserable and drunk and angry at everything. Bum can wait. He leaves the store and goes to sit in his car. She stumbles out in a bit and begins walking. He follows her. Should have done this earlier. Fuck it, whatever. He's doing it now. She meanders around for a while, begging people for money before he stops the car. He accidentally bumps into her, smiles again and offers to give her a drink from his house. She gets into the car easily. He avoids the black box and buckles up. It's in the basement. He laughs when he gets home. Parents have a cellar, would you believe? Really? She asks. She waits for him before he sweeps his arm to let her go first. He gets the bat from the closet and follows her down the stairs. He swings and she falls like a sack of potatoes. She reminds him of his father and she begs in the same way. Fuck her. He berates her as he gets the hook from a shelf. Alcoholism is a blight on society, you know? He asks as he swings it through her stomach. It wedges herself in her innards and she starts screaming. It'll probably wake Bum up. He scratches his head before reaching for the book and dislodging it. Her guts spill out with it. She screams louder. What? You don't like it in? You don't like it out? What do you want from me? Sir? Got it. He claps his hands together. Be back in a minute, don't you worry. He smiles and goes upstairs. Bum's not in the kitchen, so he doesn't have to deal with that yet. He opens the freezer and pulls out a bottle of vodka. He hums and he descends down the stairs. Good, right? What you've spent all day begging for. He uncorks the bottle and pours half of it over her head. She gurgles something that he doesn't understand. More direct? He pushes her torn shirt up and pours the bottle into the wound. Wow. It's been a while since someone yelled that loud. It's good, right? 80 proof, I think. He twists the bottle around. My dad loved this stuff, so I'm sure you'll like it too. He dips the bottle until the rest of the contents spill into her stomach. Please, she mumbles. Alright, well, I'm done with you. He brings the bottle back up and cracks her head open with it. The glass shatters across the floor and it's all more work for him to clean up later. He goes to wash up. Yoon Bum is where he left him, shaking in the bed, but he's awake and he's sweating now. Why'd you wake up? Sangwoo asks, sitting down next to him and handing him a glass of water and a box of pills. I thought I hurt someone. Just me. Sangwoo smiles and brushes Bum's hair out of his face. Did you miss me? Bum nods. It's a shame you're stuck with me. You'd make a great housewife, he says, watching Bum's throat work down the water. Thank you, Bum says. It sounds like he means it. You should go back to sleep. It'll make you feel better. Mm-hmm. The noise is small. His eyes are wide and he's scared of something again. What's wrong? I don't know. Here. Sangwoo picks him up by his armpits and pulls him into his own lap. Will you calm down if I give you a handy? He asks. Yoon Bum is hot already, but his ears still tint pink. He's so cute sometimes. Sangwoo rests his chin on Bum's head and stares down at him. You don't have to. But it'll make you happy, won't it? He tips his head down and rests his forehead on Bum's hair. It's soft. Mm-hmm. Sangwoo reaches under his own sweater to palm Bum's cock. Bum shakes under his hands, and Sangwoo tugs off his underwear, pushing it down his thighs. The skin here is soft, so he splits on his hand and starts jerking him off. Bum wiggles his hips, pressing against his chest, makes little noises high in his throat. Bum tries to kiss him, and Sangwoo yanks his head away. He's not getting sick. Absolutely not. You like it? Sangwoo asks. It's muffled, but Bum nods anyway. Sangwoo picks up the pace, squeezing down and dragging his nails up and down the length of it, the way he likes. I'm going to... To what? He teases. He speeds up his hand for a few seconds later. Bum is coming into his hand. Gross. Sangwoo says. Clean it up. Yoon Bum lifts Sangwoo's hand to his mouth. Sangwoo whistles while he licks up and down between his fingers. Full service. He lifts Bum off his lap. Now go to sleep. Yeah. Tired, huh? Yeah. Sangwoo presses his face into the pillow and walks away. The basement smells heavy. He should have cleaned first before playing with Bum. He pulls on his mask and gets to work. He strips the body, which takes more time than he'd like to admit, and starts hacking it to pieces. An hour later, he's cut most of it down and pulls out his tub and his acid. He should finish before Bum wakes up.